Hi, Ashish. Welcome to the program. How are you?
Good, Jerry. Glad to see you.
You've had really lead roles in heading up digital at Win and now at Gap and Coles. So I'm very glad that we can talk about what you've seen sort of evolve over the past 5, 6 years and where the industry in general is going. So, talk to me a little bit about how you see data being used by marketeers, what the trends are, and how you see it evolving over time.
But Coles was the first time when I got involved in, I think, 2016. We started with the collection of data. I mean, that was the big challenge. At Coles, there were a lot of data sources, and bringing them together was the first step. And structured, unstructured, all kind of data, bringing them together, mining that was the challenge. Mm-hmm. Then second stage, and mostly at When Resort is where we were able to create a meaningful stitching of customer data and transactional data. And you can imagine in a resort, there are so many businesses that are going together. So how to bring all of those data, which is really in a siloed kind of form, and stitch for a customer and kind of create a customer 360 view. It is not easy to just bring a lot of data together and not only kind of cleanse it and kind of make a unique view of the customer, but also keep maintaining it. So that's something that is where there were a lot of complexities. But in the same kind of stage, we also did a couple of experimentation with voice and Alexa as something that we used for implementing some of the experiential aspect using NLP, where if the customer is in the room, how to act as a self-assistant in terms of guiding what's available in the resort and how they can navigate it, how they can use some of the automation that we were doing in the room. AI and ML was at the forefront, and using NLP as the backdrop is something that we experimented.
Yep.
And we around see like 60 to 70% of the customers were interacting just for fun, or they were finding it useful, but there was a good kind of adoption of that technology as well.
Yeah. Let me talk a little bit, ask you a question a little bit more about the data. I think there are multiple schools of thought on this, right? CDPs have seen a rise. And enterprises are thinking about adopting CDPs and putting all that siloed data together into one form. And I think that is still being debated within the enterprise. Some are going with a full CDP approach. Others are saying, I can do an API layer and the data can reside at different places. What's your viewpoint, and what have you seen in the 3 or 4, sort of journey points you've had through this?
I always debate, am I thinking, or will it sustain for multiple years? Data, bringing them together is a journey that for enterprises, it is going to take some time. I have not seen 100% of the data that's coming together in one place. So that's going to be a journey in itself, but bringing them incrementally, whatever is more meaningful, is something that is going to be a journey for any enterprise. The second thing is you can bring historical data, which is important. And if you are able to do 80% or 70%, that itself is an asset, which should be democratized, and in a way that not only people can query and get meaningful outcome of it, but also there are ways for systems to get it via APIs and things like that.
Yes.
That's going to be a journey that will continue. On the other hand, if you think about a customer journey, that's happening in the moment.
Yes.
And if a customer is landing on your page on the website, or they are in the store, or even if they are in the resort, there is a lot happening around them. So that's one thing where you need something real time, where you can react to that moment. Yes. And the second thing is the customer's sentiments or their mindset between two journeys also can change. For example, in our resort business, we used to have a customer coming back in 13 months.
Mm-hmm.
In a typical retail business, also it's like once a month, or sometimes customers only comes during the Black Friday time.
That's right.
So it's a long kind of interval that happens in between. And while that happens, and no matter how much of data you have historically, the customers in the moment they're thinking has a great influence in what they're going to do.
Yes.
And though you have a CDP which is collecting data, which is going to keep enhancing,
Yeah.
but you need to react to certain things which is happening on the edge.
Yes.
And that context is very important for you to kind of mix with what has happened in the past to create a meaningful kind of outcome for the customer.
Yes.
And I think the good experience will mean that you have both.
Yes. And I like the idea that you talked about. That's an incremental view, right? It's never complete. You're getting it incrementally. And I think you're also talking about short-term user behavior, right? In an 80-20 rule, how do you add value to the consumer in the moment? Perhaps what they're doing in the moment, the context around them in this moment is um, proportionally more important at this time than what they did, you know, a month ago or 6 months ago, and so on. And I think the players like Uber and others have sort of spoiled us, that say that, you know, you need to know which pavement I'm in regards to location, and what color is my car, which is just coming in. So if that's the expectation of the consumer, um, how do you think the enterprises today, the ones that you work for and continue to work for, are placed to meet that expectation that the likes of Uber and others have set? Is retail ready? Is hospitality ready to do that?
So I think retail and hospitality is no different, and we need to start preparing to kind of meet that expectation. And if you take that on to an enterprise retailer, they have at least 5, 6 different kind of touch points, and they are still disjointed, where not knowing what the customer has just done in one channel,
Yeah.
go to the other channel, it has been a challenge. But yeah, I think this is something that is an area where a lot of I would say thinking is going on, and we are working in terms of not just serving one channel at a time, but strategizing how to solve for a multi-channel kind of use case.
Yeah. Where is the industry, you think, in regards to be able to predict behavior, you know, enabling that kind of value for the consumer, where you truly understand me in my moment, where, you know, I'm shopping for a sofa, and, you know, I think you know, cushions that of an X color will be interesting to me in this moment?
Yeah, and that today I think that's where most of the optimization has happened on a very linear journey of a customer, where if the customer has gone to, for example, product page, though we recommend that, hey, these are other things that you can think of, but it is for a group of customers. And I think there are a lot of good examples of optimization. But as you said, one-on-one personalization, where truly understanding the uh, the customer at that moment.
Yes.
And that moment means a lot of things, right? It's not only what she has done in the past or what a similar segment of user has done, but also what is something that she is motivated and why she is clicking certain things in the moment. So understanding that is where we can use technology to kind of predict and be smarter than what a human can think of, right? We can think of multiple templates of the product page, but still you cannot create thousands of the versions of the product page or attributes of the product. So that's one area where machine can help in terms of not only kind of looking at what has worked for a large number of customers, but also at that moment, if some tactics needs to be thrown in front of the user, it can be done. But yeah, definitely there is an appetite.
Yes.
And these days, that is what will make an experience win or lose based
Yes.
on how closely you're able to engage a customer.